In the popular imagination, Santa Monica is thought of as a wealthy enclave by the sea. In reality, this city of 93,000, comprising just over 8 square miles of Los Angeles County, is a diverse community where 70% of residents rent their homes. It faces challenges like neighborhood revitalization, transportation, homelessness, affordable housing, and support for its most vulnerable residents, especially its children. Now, the city is bringing new data-driven focus to addressing these issues with the Wellbeing Project, an index of health and wellness that guides community action, in part by posing an overarching question.
How do we build the framework and concept of well-being into the operating system of the city?
Our groundbreaking effort around a model of well-being was deeply embedded with this idea that things need to be measurable. We need to set parameters for measuring success over time. We're putting data to work to achieve real collective impact.
The Wellbeing Project was a capstone of a lot of the good work of decades and decades in Santa Monica, and was about how we tied some of that together in a framework that helped us understand the most basic question, which is how are people doing?
The Wellbeing Index tells us what are all of the components that make someone thrive, what makes someone have complete well-being. So it's really our guide that we should always be checking and seeing how we're making progress.
Virginia Avenue Park exemplifies all that is best about collective action and our City of Wellbeing. It's a hub, it's a campus of activity, and it serves people with very young children to some of our most elderly in the community.
In the Pico neighborhood, you will find a lot of Latino and African American families, a lot of low-income families. It's where families are struggling to make ends meet, and so the park becomes a connection, a place where they know they can get needed resources for their children.
We are going to call our Parent Connection Group meeting to order. This park is really great at breaking down barriers and developing connections. We really live by the phrase, it takes a village, and the park is our village.
It promotes well-being through a lot of programming and activities. Weekends, there's farmers market, and it's really an awesome place to be, to just find peace, find quality of life, and just be able to enjoy a sense of community here at the park.
Giving people options for getting out of their car, for biking, for walking, for really having the choices that we know are important for a healthy, thriving community is a big, big goal of Santa Monica's.
The Expo Light Rail line brings a regional connection to all of LA County. It's not a line, it's actually a link to a whole network. Expo is a catalyst for people to try something different. We've adopted a bike action plan. We now have 107 miles of bikeways in Santa Monica. We have Breeze Bike Share, the first bike share system in LA County.
Walking and biking is a healthy community. People that walk and bike are healthier, they're more involved in their community. We worked with our low-income housing provider to make sure when we put in the bike share that those were not only in the business districts but all neighborhoods.
The Big Blue Bus serves a 51 square mile service area here in Santa Monica and throughout the Los Angeles area. Riding Big Blue Bus does contribute to the overall well-being of the entire community. It brings in all of our hopes and goals for a much more eco-friendly, much more social community.
Our mission tonight is to reach out as to many people as we can. We need to let those people that living on the street know that there are resources out there for them.
The HELP team is the Homeless Liaison Program, and it's a unit of 6 dedicated officers and 1 sergeant in Santa Monica Police Department that are focused on homeless issues throughout the city.
The HELP team, they really are as up to date as anybody in this city on local and homeless resources to serve individuals experiencing homelessness.
Well, thanks for talking with me this morning. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that we were finally able to meet.
We have a human services division that works with many of our social service providers, and we actually team up together to find ways to get people the help they need, get them into rehabilitation, mental health services, and ultimately housing.
We cannot survive as a healthy community by having a permanent class of people alienated from society without a place to live, without a place to call home.
OPCC is a 53-year-old community-based housing and social service organization, and we provide a comprehensive array of services for low-income and homeless youth, adults, and families, battered women, their children, at-risk youth, and people living with mental illness. The Access Center really is the hub of our operations.
How long have you been in Santa Monica? 3 weeks.
A very typical day at the Access Center is we'll see 200 to 250 individuals. We have a lot of people coming in to get food, and then work with the case management and the housing teams, as well as the clinic that's on site. We don't want them to become dependent on us. We really want them to know that we are the safety net, so that our goal is not just housing first, it's housing always.
Step Up on Second is focused on people living with mental illness. They are a service provider, but they also are a provider of permanent supportive housing.
The highlight of Step Up on Second thus far was actually getting me off the streets into an independent living that I have right now. It's the first place that I've ever owned. It's the only place that I've ever been able to call my home. And I remember moving into my unit and being given the keys and sort of shed a tear. I've been able to heal from the inside out. I've been given a chance to live a new life.
We invest in the preservation and production of affordable housing, all focused on the neediest members of our community. Community Corporation of Santa Monica is the largest affordable housing provider in Santa Monica. The Belmar apartments are actually built on city-owned land. And what's pretty amazing, if you work in the housing world, it's 50-50. So it's 50% condos and 50% affordable housing. Nobody does that.
I live on Social Security and I pay $468 a month. I'm a happy man and very blessed man. And it changed my life. This place did, sure did.
Cradle to Career is Santa Monica's effort to bring together the many people who are working on early childhood programs, school-age programs, and teen programs to support young people and their families. And we've done this putting data at the center of our work.
Have a great day. Good morning, good morning.
We learned that there's persistent economically related achievement gap issues in our schools. There is a manageable but important number of highly vulnerable youth in our community who are experiencing levels of challenge that are parallel to the most marginalized communities in this country. And that's happening right here in our backyard, and the Youth Resource Team was a strategy to address that.
Our YRT, or Youth Resource Team approach, includes case managers who are assigned a group of kids. And it's the job of the case manager assigned to the kid to connect, because these are kids who struggle and who maybe have lost hope.
Sabrina is definitely a success story for all of us. I've been working alongside Sabrina for almost a year now as her case manager. She's been able to get through a lot of the obstacles that she's had to face.
I had a lot of family issues, and I wasn't doing great in school.
They don't have kind of these resources.
I went to Olympic continuation school. I graduated from Olympic. I'm at Santa Monica College now. Like, you know, it's not high school.
It's not high school.
I feel like I'm doing something with my life.
YRT should not be something that we're only talking about in Santa Monica. YRT should be something that's talked about in every school district. I want to help more kids like Sabrina.
I'm incredibly optimistic about the future of Santa Monica, and I think the Wellbeing Index gives us the direction we need to work together.
To really achieve the goals that we have to be a city of well-being, it takes the entire community. There's no one sector that does this alone.
Resilient communities do not leave people behind. We're dedicated to being resilient and to working for the well-being of everyone in the community.
We're here fighting for the idea of community writ large and the idea of being a part of something that's bigger than yourself.